Well, hello. It is spooky season, and the lovebirds, they're still just yakking away. So I decided, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and film another video because what are you going to do? Hello, my spooky friends. It is time for some more premonitions. Premonitions. Did you all have a premonition that you would meet your skullmate? It's bad. It's bad. I know it's bad. I can't help it. Okay, I'll just carry on. All right. How are you doing? You look lovely. And I hope you are having a great spooky season and enjoying all the stuff. I wish that it would feel like spooky season. It has been 90 degrees here in Alabama. So I really don't feel like it's fall yet. And by the time it feels like it's fall, all the spooky activities are over. And you're just like, looking at dead leaves. Yeah, that's what it's about in the South. All right, but I am here for you. So let's jump into it. This is by Nutty Bar 9. I love this. Back in the early 80s, I used to there was no baby around. And then my sister told everyone she was pregnant, and then I stopped hearing the baby cry. That is crazy. And I've heard a lot of similar stories to stuff like that. And then you find out, oh, that's exactly what it was. So again, we know. We know things that we don't know we know. You know? And that's what's so cool is because we are kind of all connected in some kind of mysterious way. I know a lot of people teach on these things, but all I can say is you do have a sixth sense. There is, in other words, there's more to you than just this, flesh bag. And I am really, really glad because my flesh bag she's getting older. Okay, this was a comment someone made on celebrity ghost stories. An actress saw little girls playing around a lamppost and they would just disappear. Later. Years later. After her daughters were born and grew into little girls, she realized the ghosts she saw were her daughters. Again, that is another cool story, and it reminds me of is it Daniel Rose that has shared with us a lot of stuff. I don't some of his stuff may be in here in these premonitions. I can't remember. But he has had this over and over where he sees visions of children that he doesn't have. And this is so cool to me. And I just keep, I'm hanging in there with you, Daniel. Look, I believe it's going to happen one of these days. And I just realized that I don't have any more stories queued up, so I'm going to have to take a break. But I will get back with you. Probably in a different outfit. Just hold on. Okay, I'm back. Finally. I know, it didn't seem like any time to you, but it was a long time. And they just keep on talking. Now, let me tell you, we're going to read some more premonitions, and I will warn you, some of these are a little bit scary and dark, and I will tell you when you might want to skip ahead. Okay, this next one is by Samantha Springman. She says, I have had many premonitions, sometimes feelings, sometimes dreams, and sometimes visions. I hate when I feel a death about to happen nearby. I always know that feeling. What it does to me and how it feels is horrible. I get sick, literally sick to my stomach, cold chills that won't go away, but in waves. I get antsy and nervous and can't handle being alone. And if you can imagine feeling just hopeless darkness inside your mind, that's the closest I know how to describe it. I have felt death about to happen up to roughly a half block away. Never been wrong. I usually don't know the person passing away, and I don't get any idea of where specifically it's happening. Usually it's medical, like a widowmaker heart attack. I have prayed and prayed not to have it happen to me. Well, Samantha, I get it. I don't have premonitions like that about or feelings necessarily like that. Um, I have them for bigger events, and things like the hurricane that just came by, I was all out of sorts. And this is prior to me knowing exactly where they said it was going to hit in my area. Like, my body ached so bad. I couldn't hardly walk, and I just felt confusion and so much, I don't know how to explain it, so much stress and sickness, and I had to work. It was really, really difficult for me to get through a day or 2. I just felt so bad. And, of course, by the time we were expecting the hurricane, all I had on my mind was prepping for it. And so, I was just so like I ordered so many groceries. I spent so much money just ordering things that were sustainable. And so, I mean, I was kind of actually praying about it. When the whole thing missed us, I'm like, God, I don't understand. What is this feeling? Like, why did I feel like I had to have so much stuff when you knew it wasn't even going to come near us? And I feel like sometimes, like we've talked before, we are such a collective body of people. We feel the hurts and pains, and we have premonitions. And so many times I've had a premonition thinking it's for me personally or our area, and it's someone close to me or someone that I know. And think that we pick up. Some of us are just very sensitive and we pick up on the pain and things to come of other people. And I know what you mean. You pray not to have it happen, but I feel like it's a gift. I know I've got some gifts that are questionable as to whether I would say it's a gift or a curse. But I think sometimes, God just wants us to pray even if we don't know who or what we're praying for. It doesn't necessarily prevent things, but sometimes it helps with the aftermath. Does that make sense? So, I mean, yeah, nobody wants to see or feel things like that. Now, on that note, our next one is very scary. It is a premonition, it's a dream, okay? It is a dream, but it is a very scary prophetic dream. Now, we will see if it comes true or not. I'm not saying yes or no because it's just like when I have a dream. I don't know if it's going to happen until it happens. And it is a little bit political too. So if you are stressed out in this season, you might want to go ahead a minute or so. Okay, this is sent in by Enzia Gold. Autumn of 2019, I dreamt America became a third world nation. Homelessness and garbage. Every direction I turned, people were high or getting high. I just kept repeating, seek truth within you. They just ignored until they could no longer hear or see me. When they went completely deaf and blind to who was in front of them, Wawa, named Mama, born to give life, I heard a loud voice exclaim, America can have its God. Then an atomic bomb exploded. I woke up knowing Biden would be president. I am watching my premonition unfold. Quote, only in America we stamp the dollar, in God we trust. Now, I know that people have, I would say for the last 15, 16 years, a lot of people that I know have had dreams and visions of foreigners, like military foreigners, being on our soil, bombs, all kind of stuff. All I can say is when we are given a premonition, we do what we can. And again, pray for mercy. But we have to hold on to faith and hold on to hope. I mean, we really don't have any choice. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's go back to some more premonitions. This one is by Anna Abramson. I drove my daughter to therapy every month. I knew exactly how long it takes and when to leave, something that just kept making me want to leave 15 minutes late, which I ended up doing as the message was so strong. I then knew I was going to be late. We came across a horrific accident, head on crash, semi versus car blocking the road. Police were just arriving. We may have indeed been part of it. Yeah, definitely. When you have a feeling, just just go with it. And if you're 15 minutes late, it's not the end of the world. But, these things don't happen every day. So when you get that gut feeling, listen to your gut. I always say, listen to your gut. Actually, I did that this morning on the way to church. I have a certain way that I go. Okay. And then we left, and I should have gone back the closest and easiest way. And I just had this feeling. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can go that way. I'm going to go the long way around. Okay. So now I don't know what would have happened. Nothing happened that I know of. I mean, if there was an accident or anything, I haven't heard about it yet. It was just one of those things that I'm like, my gut was just nagging at me. It's very quiet, but like, yeah, don't go that way. Don't go that way. Go a different way. And so I did. And I think it's important, just like this. Or sometimes, we've said before, you are trying desperately to get out of the house. And I've been so frustrated. Things that I know where I left my keys. I know where my purse is. I know where, and then, but for some reason, it's like you're moving in slow motion and you go to grab your keys and they are literally not where they were. And you end up being 10, 15 minutes late as you're looking around the house, as you're, just trying to get out the door for whatever reason. And you're like, this doesn't even make sense. It's like my whole world was in some kind of weird dimension trying to get out of the house, and then you go up the road and you see a horrific accident. It has happened to me so many times, and then I'm like, God, I am so sorry for complaining and really having a bad attitude, because clearly this was to keep me from being in that accident. So look, I know sometimes it's frustrating, but listen to your gut. And this one is also by Anna. I had a dream about a curly haired toddler boy that I pushed in a stroller years before my daughter had curly haired boy who loved stroller rides. Once, when I lived in a dorm, we had a payphone. There was a call, and I knew who it was before they told me it was for me. I had no reason to think this person would call me at all. I was right and surprised. It's crazy the things that we dream about. That just reminded me the story of the curly haired boy in the stroller. I had a dream that when I was expecting my first child and I didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl, basically in the dream, I had two boys instead of a girl. And I was really, really upset. I mean, it's not that I didn't want the boys, but in the dream, someone had stolen my little girl. And so fast forward, I had a boy, and then literally 18 months later, had another boy. Ended up going through a divorce, got remarried, and had a little girl. But there was like a 10-year gap in there before she was born. I thought about that dream the other day, and I thought, wow, that was so prophetic to my life. I mean, how does our brain know this when we're sleeping? I don't know, but it's really cool. And then the part about the telephones, if I had a nickel for every time a phone rang and I knew exactly who was on the other line and what they were going to say, my goodness, I could retire to maybe not somewhere exotic, but I could retire somewhere, maybe a little bit. I could go weekend somewhere anyway. I don't know. But I do that a lot. I do it with my cell phone sometimes, but it seems like when we had that old fashioned, landlines, man, I could almost tell you every time the phone rang who it was. We just know things. Okay, so we have time for one more. This one is by Mickey Walk. The only time I had a premonition was one February morning. I woke up and there was a song on my lips, part of a requiem. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil. Learned it in college choir decades ago. Well, anyway, I had to get to work and the weather was crap. Get in the cold shower and find myself singing Dead Man Walking by David Bowie. I love David Bowie, so not that odd, but I was irritated with myself for being so morbid. I got in the car, and it's bad. A lot of snow on the ground, bad visibility because of the fog. I got a bit worried, but I was leaving early, so I was sure I would get to work on time. I drove around the curves and up the hill and pop over the top of the ridge, and there's an accident. A big semi in the ditch and another guy hauling cows stopped right in the road. It had just happened, and the poor guy was in shock. He'd seen it. I'd, I made him call an ambulance, and I tried to check on the guy in the semi, but it was no good. The door was about 6 feet off the ground because of the ditch. I looked through the windshield, and I couldn't see any movement. Well, it got busy with the morning commute. We were in a valley, and you couldn't even see the other side of the hill because of the fog. So I called into work and set up on the hill, lights flashing and warning cars that there was an accident not even 100 feet ahead. Cops and ambulance eventually came, and I went to work, shook. It's like, why me? But I was glad I could lend any little help I could. Sad I couldn't do more. Poor guy was dead on arrival, the newspaper said. I hope he died instantly and didn't suffer. Rest in peace. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Again, this goes with that whole what people say is collective consciousness. Like, we know things that are going to happen. And maybe it was just your way of, like, your body trying to tell you, your mind saying this is what you're going to encounter, um so that you could give any bit of comfort, render any aid. The thing is that's important is what happened, and maybe it was going to happen anyway. But the guy that was there that did survive, I mean, he was in shock. And can you imagine if he had just been out on that cold, snowy, icy road by himself in this situation, like in shock? Y- Like, you have no idea how much just your presence could have meant, just having someone there knowing what to do. Okay. So I don't know. Why do we have to go through these things? I have no idea. But there is always a reason, and usually it is the benefit of someone. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed these stories. We're going to be doing a lot more. I've got a new work schedule, so I am trying to keep my videos coming out on time. I am going to be going live probably more than once. And let me tell you this, if you have something and you feel like you've got a good story, or a series of stories, if you would like to call in, we can do a live, we can do it recorded. I would love to have a live interview. You can remain anonymous. I understand a lot of people don't want their self out there telling true ghost stories because, people are like, because that's stupid. Like, we'll see how stupid that is when you're dead, okay? You're the ghost and you want to tell somebody something. Yeah, let's see how you like it then. I've been around Scully too long. Okay, yeah, I am going to get off here. I'm going to give them some privacy. Say goodbye to Miss Scullett O'Hara. Nice to meet you, Scullett. We'll say our goodbyes later, but you can tell them goodbye, and yeah, maybe we'll be seeing more of her. I have no idea. But for now, whatever you do, just stay spooky. Bye bye.